As Bernd said, he asked me a couple of months back whether I would be joining the conference, and then a couple of weeks ago he asked me, okay, can you say something actually? I said, yeah, okay. And well, I was a student here, as Bernd said. I graduated in the last decade already, and we didn't have this building here. We were in the old building over there, so I'm happy to see how things are evolving here with the university, and now with this program coming up. So very happy to be here again. Hopefully I'm not disappointing anyone. I'm not a computer scientist. I'm a business guy. I studied with all your professors here that you are enjoying classes with as well. But I'm an optimist, and you will see that hopefully through my presentation, and also when we have a chance to talk to each other later. So why am I here? What am I doing? Is there a clicker somewhere? Or did you take it, Samson? You still have the clicker? First, is the presentation open? Okay, all right. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, so my name is Jan Amman. I work for Intelligence, which is also a company here in Bielefeld, at the other end of the city. Probably some of you have heard of us. We are in Bielefeld now, founded almost 30 years ago, and a partner of SAP, one of the largest partners around the globe. One in my role here is we call it the Global Head of Public Cloud Solutions. It sounds pretty fancy. What I'm actually doing is helping all our countries and country organizations to get into or grow their public cloud business, because our SAP business traditionally is, as we call, on-premise. So you install your system and you have your database sitting somewhere next to you or somewhere below you. And this has some implications to the business, to the IT side of things, and also for our business as things are changing. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I personally believe that cloud ERP is, so to speak, the fundamental or the basis for what you're going to hear later on about blockchain, about AI, and all these things that we are happy to have these experts here on board. So where are we coming from? I think cloud is still, or many times, a fear, or people say, is things secure? And I'm saying, well, I think you guys are in the cloud for a long time now. Who doesn't use online banking, for example, and since when? I mean, I think I used my online banking to do, to check my accounts and do the transactions. I don't know, 2000, 2002, somewhere around that. That's cloud. The data is not at my computer; it's at the banks. File sharing. I mean, there were the illegal examples how it started with Napster back then, and now it's moved to different things like Dropbox and so on as well. I mean, we saw the iPhone here earlier before, so the apps that probably every one of you in this room are using. And one of the things, streaming. So who of you doesn't have a Netflix account? It's more than I thought. Who of you is using Spotify? See, that's a lot. So think about what that's doing, and think about what I just said, where we're coming from file sharing, where you downloaded the file first from some server to yourself, then from one computer to the other, and now you don't even download it anymore. You just stream the music, you just stream the movies, and you don't do that just at your PC, you do that on your device everywhere where you go. The technology behind all that, or the fundamentals, is cloud, that the data is somewhere else, not sitting locally at your application or at your device, but rather somewhere else, and you just use it whenever you need it. So this is a little bit where we're coming from. And if you look now into the business world, oftentimes this changes. I don't want to scare you, so if you probably, when you graduate and you go into a company, probably a couple of things have evolved. But for me, even years back when I went from university to my company, I thought, okay, we have forms for this. I need to do this here, and why don't we do it there? It changes because companies, are large. I mean, we heard Oetker, we heard Miele. There are huge implications to change technology in such a way. So this is why I feel it would be good to have all this, and the basis for that, I believe, is cloud. Well, it's my job to tell you this, but also I believe this. As I said, I'm an optimist. So if we look now into an ERP, does anyone not know what an ERP system is or what it stands for? No? Can anyone explain it in one sentence? Well, I can't either, but since you all know what it is, then I guess we can keep going here. So what it is, it's a complex system. And why is it complex? Because everything is connected. If you want to procure something because it's needed later in the sales process, you want to know if it has been ordered, if it has been delivered, or if it's ready to be shipped. Let's skip aside all the complicated processes of routing the goods through the organization. But that's basically what an ERP does. And we have done this now, or this has been done or invented more or less by SAP more than 40 years ago, has evolved and evolved and evolved. Yeah, but this is where we are now, and now things change. We were talking about blockchain, we were talking about AI, and how does this fit together? I think this is where we are right now. And I think the problem in all of this, now being in Germany, I probably can say this, or I'm not so sure. I think we are good at incremental steps at making things better, but to rethink things completely new is something where we probably need someone, a Samson, coming in here to tell us about these things. So this is a little bit, new to us. But I want to. I've talked about this, so I'm not really going to go into details. I'm going to move to this one. So, but a little bit about why this is important as well. Think about, and if I had heard the keynote, probably we wouldn't have had to talk about it that much. But globally connected companies have influenced by politics. Think about data security laws that are coming in place in Europe next year. I don't know if you know it, but from next May, you have the right to call every company and ask them, what kind of data do you have about me? These things have an impact. You need to know where the data is, you need to know what you have, where it's stored, and you need to know whether that person who asks you has the right to do that. Because it's an EU law, it's not an American law, for example. So these things impact as well, but I think we've heard lots of examples earlier. So if we now think about ERP, the ERP that we know and that was fundamentally everything that the business was ran on in the past is now what I would call, or what it says here, run your business, or as we could say, a system of record. You run your processes and you have your data stored and located in that system. What's interesting is, or what we need now, and that's a big shift again, is for all these things, AI, big data, of this to happen, and we're going to hear probably a lot more technical details about that later on, is we need one single source of truth. We need one layer of data where we do have all the data that we have access to all the time to do big data analysis, to do everything else probably that we, again, hear later about. So this is a big shift, and this is what's difficult if you have your database sitting here, if you're in Germany, and you have your database sitting here, if the same company has maybe a large office in the US and has the database sitting here. Which data is true now? If they post something and they order something from there, that gets things very complicated. There are ways around this. I just want to overemphasize a little bit what the problem is. So what we do have now, if we shift the ERP system to the cloud, is we have the fundamentals for this. And here is, I think, where the interesting part now begins, or where we have to start thinking and dreaming about, is the system of innovation. In innovation, I think you can see it in two things. One probably is, again, easier for us Germans. One is a little bit more difficult. One is to make our existing process run better or easier, or digitalize the processes that we already have, as we say. The second one is come up with totally new things. And again, I think this is why we are all here, because you guys probably have so many ideas that you can then bring into the company and say, okay, why don't we do it this way? Then you're probably going to hear, because we've always done it that way, but I don't think that's valid anymore. And again, with these two systems, or these two elements, the system of record and the system of innovation, you have the layer to steer your business with business intelligence and everything and all the fancy words that are out there. So one or two technical things I would like to mention before we close. So we have APIs. We have different ways to integrate the system. We have different technical standards for data to be called from that system or from that application to the basis. So that's probably something that we're going to hear about. But again, on top we have the AI with big data, IoT, and security. So we shouldn't forget about this. And again, so going to the cloud also changes. Cloud is basically a subscription model, and that also means for a business that it doesn't own that system, it rents it or it subscribes to it. But I think again, and that's where we close the loop here, is what you do with Netflix and Spotify and all of this again. I mean, when I started this, to be honest, I downloaded movies, then I bought them online from iTunes, and I was thinking, why do I want to pay Netflix money? And you know, if they close down, I don't own anything anymore. So it's trust again at the end. That you need. But then again, how often do you switch then from Spotify to some other application because they might have more? So at the beginning I said I'm an optimist, and that's why I want to give you now my closing statement here. And there were questions earlier about what is technology doing to us, you know, how can we deal with it, and how can we deal with it? I would like to turn the question around, not ask what is technology doing to us, but rather, what do we want to do with technology? And I think that's my thought for you for the rest of the day. Thank you very much.